Sometimes the hardest truth to accept in life is that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay there forever. We often believe that certain relationships will last for years, maybe even a lifetime. But sometimes, without warning, things begin to change. Conversations feel different, the connection starts to fade, and the person you once felt so close to suddenly feels distant. When this happens, many people assume something went wrong, or that they somehow failed the relationship. But the truth is, sometimes God removes certain people from our lives for a reason, not as a punishment and not by accident, but because their role in your journey has come to an end. And when you begin to understand the signs, you start to realize that what feels like loss may actually be protection. Sometimes we believe that every relationship in our life is meant to last forever. But the truth is, life moves in seasons, and so do the people around us. Some individuals enter our lives to teach us something. Others appear during difficult moments to help us grow stronger. And some are only meant to walk beside us for a short part of the journey. But when a season changes, the people connected to that season often change as well. God sees the path ahead of you in ways that we cannot. He understands what will help you grow and what might hold you back. Sometimes a relationship that once felt right slowly becomes something that no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. And when that happens, God may begin creating distance between you and that person. Not out of anger, but out of guidance. Because sometimes the only way for you to step into the next chapter of your life is for certain people to step out of it. And when you begin to recognize the signs, you may start to understand that what feels confusing at first may actually be part of a greater plan. One of the first signs that someone may be leaving your life is when peace slowly disappears from the relationship. At one time, conversations may have felt easy. You understood each other. Disagreements were small and quickly resolved, but suddenly, things begin to change. Small conversations turn into arguments. Simple misunderstandings grow into tension, and interactions that once felt natural now feel heavy and exhausting. You may even find yourself wondering why everything suddenly feels so difficult. Sometimes people blame themselves in moments like this. They think they must be doing something wrong. But in many cases, the growing conflict is not just about the disagreement itself. It's a sign that the connection between two people is no longer flowing in the same direction. When a relationship is meant to continue, peace tends to remain even during disagreements. But when a season is ending, that peace can slowly begin to fade, and the constant tension may be one of the first signals that something deeper is shifting, and that God may be preparing to move someone out of your life. Another sign that someone may be leaving your life is when you begin to feel like you were growing in a different direction. At one point, the two of you may have shared the same mindset. You enjoyed the same conversations, the same goals, the same way of looking at life. But over time, something begins to change. You start thinking differently. Your priorities shift. The things that once felt important to you may no longer feel the same. Sometimes this growth happens slowly, almost without you noticing it at first. But eventually you begin to realize that the connection you once shared doesn't feel as strong anymore. Conversations that used to flow easily may now feel forced. Interests that once brought you together may no longer hold the same meaning. And while this can feel confusing, it's often a natural part of personal and spiritual growth. Because as people evolve, not everyone is meant to grow in the same direction. Sometimes God allows distance to form, not because either person is wrong, but because your path is beginning to lead somewhere different. And when that happens, it may be a sign that someone's role in your journey is slowly coming to an end. Another powerful sign that someone may be leaving your life is when their presence begins to feel emotionally draining. There was a time when being around this person may have felt uplifting. You laughed together, conversations were energizing, spending time together felt natural and positive. But gradually, something begins to shift. Instead of feeling encouraged after spending time with them, you begin to feel tired, mentally exhausted, sometimes even discouraged. You may notice that their words are often negative. They criticize your decisions, doubt your goals, or constantly focus on problems and frustrations. Over time, that energy can start to affect your own mindset. You may begin to question yourself more, feel less motivated, or notice that your peace disappears whenever they enter the conversation. This doesn't always mean the person is intentionally trying to harm you, but sometimes people carry a mindset that no longer aligns with the direction your life is moving, and when someone's energy consistently pulls you away from peace, confidence, or spiritual growth, it can become a sign that their presence is no longer meant to be part of your journey. In some situations, God creates distance not through conflict, but by allowing you to feel the difference between peace and the weight of a relationship that no longer supports who you are becoming. Another sign that someone may be leaving your life is when circumstances begin to change in ways that slowly create distance between you. Unlike conflict or emotional tension, this kind of separation often happens quietly. There are no dramatic arguments, no sudden endings. Instead, things simply begin to shift. Opportunities appear that take you in different directions. Schedules change, life becomes busier. The moments where you once crossed paths naturally start happening less and less. Conversations that used to happen every day slowly become occasional. Messages take longer to respond to. Plans that once felt effortless suddenly become difficult to arrange. At first, you may try to hold on to the connection. You might reach out more often, try to keep things the way they used to be, or hope that things will return to how they once felt. But despite your efforts, the distance continues to grow. Sometimes people interpret this as coincidence. They assume life simply became busy, or that timing is just off. But when a door in your life is meant to remain open, it usually does not become this difficult to walk through. When two people are meant to stay connected in the same season, circumstances tend to align naturally. Time appears, conversations continue, paths keep crossing. But when a season begins to end, those same doors slowly start to close. You may notice missed opportunities to see each other, plans that repeatedly fall through, or moments where you almost reconnect, only for something to shift at the last moment. This kind of distance can feel confusing because nothing dramatic seems to have happened. There was no single event that clearly ended the relationship. Instead, it feels as though life itself is slowly guiding the two of you in separate directions. And sometimes, that is exactly what is happening, because not every ending in life arrives with a loud explanation. Some endings arrive quietly, through subtle changes in timing, environment, and circumstance. God doesn't always remove people through conflict. Sometimes He simply changes the path ahead and allows distance to form naturally. What once felt easy begins to require effort. What once felt constant begins to fade, and slowly, without a clear moment of goodbye, the connection begins to dissolve. In moments like this, it's important to remember that not every door that closes is a loss. Sometimes a closing door is simply a sign that your life is being redirected toward a different chapter. A chapter where the people walking beside you will be different from the ones who walked with you. Another sign that someone may be leaving your life is when you begin to feel a quiet sense of discomfort deep inside. Nothing dramatic may have happened on the surface. The person may still speak to you, the relationship may still technically exist, but something within you starts to feel different. You may begin to notice small moments where your mind pauses, where something feels slightly off, even if you can't immediately explain why. Sometimes it happens during conversations, a comment that doesn't sit right with you, a tone that feels unfamiliar, or a pattern of behavior that slowly starts to stand out. At first, many people ignore these feelings. They tell themselves they are overthinking. They try to push the thought away and convince themselves everything is fine. But intuition often works quietly. It doesn't shout. It doesn't force itself into your attention. Instead, It appears as a subtle awareness, a small voice reminding you to pay closer attention. Many people describe this feeling as a sense of inner caution, a gentle signal that something about the connection is beginning to change. This doesn't always mean the other person has done something wrong. Sometimes it simply means your spirit is beginning to recognize that the relationship is no longer aligned with the direction your life is moving. As you grow and change, your awareness grows as well. You begin noticing things you once overlooked. The conversations that once felt normal may now feel uncomfortable. The dynamic that once felt balanced may now feel uneven. And over time, that quiet feeling inside you becomes harder to ignore. In many cases, intuition is one of the ways people begin recognizing that a season in their life is coming to an end, not through conflict, not through sudden loss, but through the quiet understanding that something within the relationship no longer feels the way it once did. Another sign that someone may be leaving your life is when the growth you are experiencing begins to create tension in the relationship. At one time, the two of you may have supported each other naturally. Your goals aligned. Your conversations felt encouraging, and the direction you were moving in life seemed similar. But as time passes, you may begin changing in ways that not everyone around you is ready to accept. You may start focusing more on your purpose. You may begin making healthier decisions. You may deepen your faith, change your priorities, or pursue goals that once felt impossible. Growth often requires leaving old habits behind, and sometimes even old environments, but not everyone feels comfortable watching that change happen. Instead of encouraging your progress, some people begin reacting differently. They question your choices, they dismiss your new goals, they may even make subtle comments that cause you to doubt yourself. Sometimes it's not obvious criticism. It may appear as jokes, skepticism, or a lack of support when you speak about the direction you want to go. Over time, these reactions can create distance between you, because when someone truly belongs in the next chapter of your life, they usually celebrate your growth, they encourage you to move forward, they support the progress you're making, and they feel inspired when they see you becoming a better version of yourself. But when someone repeatedly resists that growth, it can become a sign that the relationship was meant for a different season of your life. And as your path begins to change, their place in that journey may begin to change as well. The final sign that someone may be leaving your life is when the separation happens naturally, without either person forcing it. There is no dramatic ending, no major argument, no clear moment where everything suddenly stops. Instead, the relationship simply begins to fade over time. Conversations become less frequent. The moments you once shared slowly become memories rather than ongoing experiences. You may notice that weeks go by without speaking, then months. And eventually, the connection that once felt constant becomes something that quietly exists in the past. Sometimes people feel the urge to chase the relationship during this stage. They try to recreate what once existed, hoping things will return to the way they used to be. But when a relationship is truly meant to continue, it usually does not require that kind of effort to stay alive. Connections that belong in your life tend to remain naturally present. But when someone's season in your life is ending, the distance often happens on its own. Paths begin to separate, priorities shift, and both people slowly move toward different chapters of their lives. And while this can feel bittersweet, it is often one of the clearest signs that the relationship served its purpose and that the time has come for both of you to move forward. Letting someone go is rarely easy. When a person has been part of your life for a long time, their absence can feel confusing, painful, and sometimes even unfair. You may find yourself wondering what changed, or wishing things could go back to the way they once were. But not every ending is a mistake. Sometimes the people who leave your life were only meant to be part of a specific chapter of your journey. They were there to teach you something, to help you grow, or to prepare you for the person you were meant to become. And once that lesson has been fulfilled, the path begins to change. God often sees what we cannot see. He understands the direction your life is meant to move, and the people who are meant to walk beside you in each season. So when someone slowly fades from your life, it may not be a loss. It may simply be the closing of one chapter, making room for a new one that is still waiting to begin. And sometimes, the people who are meant to be part of your future can only enter your life once the wrong ones have stepped away.